Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is caitom and today we are building with one of the newly released kits plus the base game. So last week on Thursday, The Sims dropped 2 new kits, and I think out of all their kit releases, these two I've been the most excited to build with. But as I mentioned earlier, we're just building with the Greenhouse Haven kit, and there's really not much else to say about this pack besides the new windows and the door that it comes with. So they are, for the description, I mean, you'll probably see it later in the video, but they are single tile and they are all short wall height windows with a multitude of swatches, surprisingly. And it even comes with a screened swatch, which I was not expecting at all. But to be fair, I've never really been to a greenhouse, or I don't really live anywhere where there's a greenhouse nearby. So I guess it might not be surprising depending on where you live in the world. But yeah, it comes with the screened watches, a couple of wood swatches, and then a plain black and white. Thank God, because that means these windows are very versatile and can be used for more modern, more industrial kind of builds, which, if you've noticed recently, I am in love with industrial, so it is pretty much a godsend. And the door, I am so glad. Oh, it comes with 2 doors, by the way, a single tile and a 2 tile door, which match the rest of the windows perfectly. I am so glad they added that to the game. I am kind of looking forward to see what everyone else has to build, because I know it's been a couple days and other Simmers have probably come out with a multitude of builds. So it's been really nice to see what they have and kind of taking inspiration from everyone. But yeah, right now I'm currently working on the exterior and trying to figure out the layout and the landscaping, and that is pretty much that until I start working on the greenhouse, which is a little plain. But yeah, the greenhouse I was able to fit 7 box planters and then a couple of individual planters. I knew I wanted to make sure the space was actually functional if your sim needed to come here to grab some fruits or vegetables, which, by the way, I did add some plants already. And if you want to download this lot, it'll be on the gallery under my ID caitom, C-A-I-T-O-M, and you can also find tray files of the build in the description box below. But yeah, you probably see me struggling a lot with the landscaping. Because I am building this on a 40 by 20 lot, I am kind of struggling with figuring out what I want to add and what I shouldn't add. Oh, and by the way, I made all of the lot requirements for a national park as well as just a regular park, and that's why you see so many benches around. Like I said, I know this is a 40 by 20 lot, and I originally started on a 40 by 30 lot, but I decided that the greenhouse that I wanted to build seemed a little bit large, and I didn't really know what to do to kind of fill in the spaces of the walkway leading up to the greenhouse. So that is why I chose this lot. Oh, I'm building this in Newcrest, by the way. So if you have an open space in your world, or you just have a 40 by 20 lot just waiting to be occupied, you can download this from the gallery. So right here, I am finally working on the shell of the greenhouse. And as for the bathroom situation, I do decide to use a public bathroom instead of building a bathroom inside the greenhouse or just like a separate building. And that is so I can kind of have the bathroom sort of off the lot, because as you can see, I'm a little tight on space. So maybe changing this to a 40 by 20 lot was a maybe unfortunate idea, and I should have just stayed on the 40 by 30. But that is all just water under the bridge, and I'm not gonna think about it. Oh, I guess one thing I should point out is I'm just going through debug right now, trying to find any items I can use to sort of spruce up the exterior, because right now I'm just using the medium wall height windows, and I know the pack comes with 2 different windows, but the window with the open area at the top is only for short wall height, which is quite unfortunate because I was hoping to get some variety when it comes to the windows. But you know what, it's a kit, I'm not that mad about it. But yeah, right now I'm just using tool mod to size up the columns to a specific height, which for reference I think I sized them up to a number 4.2 or something. And I'm just using that to kind of give some dimension to the build like I previously mentioned. And right here in this little walkway, I do decide to not make this a glass roof just because I didn't want it to clip too much inside the main roof piece. Because the new kit does in fact come with a new roof swatch, which is very exciting because it's a bit more uniform than the other glass roof swatches that we have right now. Although I know, I want to say Eco Lifestyle comes with a new roof swatch, but don't quote me on that because I don't own that pack and I'm only guessing. But yeah, I think the exterior of the house, sorry, the greenhouse looks kind of nice for how simple it is. It's really just a big box and a little entryway. Oh, and I do decide to use those curved little room pieces to sort of make it less boxy. I was considering having a custom like curved staircase going up to the greenhouse, but I thought the curved rooms are already so buggy. I want this to function well, so I decided to just put it up on a foundation and kind of leave it at that. Right here, I added some lights, and instead of increasing the height of the lights to reach the glass roof, I am instead using a fence, which I think is the shortest one in the base game, to sort of act as a beam that the lights can hang off of. And I thought it was nice. It kind of aligns with the roof pieces, so I just thought it was a cute little touch. And right here, I'm just figuring out the layout of all the planters because I do decide to include a crap ton of planters. I mean, besides the one in the middles, I think I want to say I included maybe like 10 individual planters, although they're not all functional, which makes sense. I don't want everything in this greenhouse to be that functional. But yeah, right here is like probably my favorite section of the build. This is when I decided to include a long strip of like tables. It's a new table that comes with the pack, but a long strip of tables, and I'm just getting all of the clutter items that came with the new kit and just kind of spamming them on here. I thought it was kind of nice and made sense that there'd be a lot of storage, a lot of extra items that the community could use. And I mean, my whole idea for this build was that the community kind of banded together and foster this really nice space for plants that is accessible to everyone, and it's sort of free to take, but most people sort of respect that idea of don't like take everything and like not give back. So I would like to assume that the community kind of filled this storage area with a lot of pots, a lot of tools, and just like whatever else I decided to include here. You'll see me in a bit include some wall decoration, and I decided to include a post-it board, the board for postcards, and the whole idea was that maybe the community that they built up here is like very cozy, and people are always sending some postcards from around the world, like just kind of thanking this community for being so welcoming, and I don't know, just like good vibes all around. But yeah, honestly, this was mainly just an excuse for me to clutter to my heart extent, because there's really not much opportunity to clutter in a community build like this, although it might just be me. But yeah, so one thing I'd like to just sort of highlight is a little flooring that I use. So it is a combination of the new flooring that comes with the kit as well as the gravel flooring from the base game, and I thought it'd be nice to sort of mix it up because I know the flooring from the kit can seem a little bit overwhelming. So it was kind of nice that I thought of the idea to include a sort of pathway inside the path using the gravel. And you'll see me change it at the very end for this one, but I do make the gravel path a little bit shorter just so it's kind of highlighting the planter boxes and not really taking away the spotlight from the new flooring, because don't get me wrong, it is gorgeous. I am probably gonna make a whole bunch of outdoor spaces in the future using this specific flooring, just because it's so nice. Like, it has little bits of grass. I don't know if you can see, but there are like little bits of grass peeking out from the tiles, and I thought it was a really nice touch. But yeah, so right here I think I've finished cluttering up that little area, and I'm just going in and adding some extra decorations on the wall, even though you probably won't see it, but you know, it looks nice on the screenshots, so who's really complaining? So the whole idea of the little aprons over there was that these are aprons that the community could use whenever they don't want to get their clothes dirty. And I sized a second set of aprons down just because I thought that the kids would be able to get involved too. Right now I'm trying to remember if your kids can actually garden, and I want to say yes, but I don't think I've ever played with kids that wanted to garden, so don't quote me on that. Um, but yeah. Oh, I guess one thing I should mention before I forget is that I did play test this a lot, and I don't know if this is a new feature that they added or if I've just never really gone to the park where there are planters, but there are routine gardeners that come and take care of the plants, which I was really surprised to see because they were all like in their gardener's gear, and you could definitely tell that they were gardeners because they had like a gardening apron or something. And I mean, I guess it kind of helps if you're doing a rags to riches and you don't necessarily have to take care of the plants all by yourself. So I guess that's nice. But yeah, I think so far I've only seen those NPCs just water the plants. And speaking of plants, I added a couple of fruit trees, a couple of fruits and vegetables, just so there's a variety of things for your sim to use. And in the individual planters, I think I just put flowers in there. I might have put the expensive ones like lilies because they cost over 100 simoleons, I think, in game. Um, Honestly, I don't know where you find that in the world, so I thought it'd be nice to have this be like, oh, you can get some rare type of plants and whatnot. There also is a plantain tree, which I feel like I've never played with ever in my whole lifetime of playing The Sims. Um, so let me know where that comes from because, like I said, I am kind of at a loss of where all of these fruits and vegetables are coming from because I was just scrolling through the debug and kind of placing whatever I thought would look cool or would be useful. Um, but yeah, that was pretty much it for the greenhouse. And now we are finally working on the rest of the exterior. And by the rest of the exterior, I mean just finishing the landscaping and whatever other decorations I include. Right here is a little kids area that I decided to include a couple of toys, a debug shovel and pail. I don't know why there's a pail, but I guess you can make a sandcastle. I also include some toddler blocks just in case your toddlers or your infants are here with you at the park. I think I could have added maybe a couple more toys for the younger kids, but I really just wanted to get this done and get this out to you guys because the greenhouse was so much fun building. I feel like I probably could have just made this lot centered solely on the greenhouse, but that just gives me ideas for future builds. And speaking of future builds, I will be posting another limited pack build with just the basement treasures kit and the base game sometime this week because I don't want to promise anything about when I'll get that finished and uploaded, but hopefully I can get that done in time for Wednesday. You know, as I was building that basement treasures house, I'm in the middle of building it right now, but I started working on the actual basement for the build, and my reshade was kind of hectic when I am underneath the actual world because it would blur all the grid lines, and honestly it kind of lagged my game a little bit, so I have to get that figured out or just turn off that particular setting that causes it to blur, and hopefully I finish it in the video and I get the voiceover done. But yeah, right here is where I decided to add a sort of fishing pond. I know I wanted to add one, but I was really in the middle of wondering whether or not I needed to add like one of the debug ones or just build my own. But I decided to build my own, and that means I could use some other debug items to sort of decorate the pond. For example, I used those debug lily pads. Those look really nice, by the way, and I want to say it's the most plentiful looking lily pad we have in the game, instead of me individually placing the smaller ones. And again, I'm using tool mod to sort of reposition these other decorations that I have. So for one, I have the fishing allowed sign with fish already stocked. I have that log. And then I also included some ducks, although it looks weird in build mode. But just know that ducks will be swimming in this little pond. And it looks really nice in game. At least I want to think so. And right now I'm just adding some other items or other landscaping items around the pond just to make it blend in a little more. If you've been here for a bit, you know I don't usually manipulate the terrain in any way, and I don't really use ponds, so all this landscaping you see me doing is I'm very unsure of it, so hopefully it still looks nice. I mean, to me it looks nice, and in game the ducks look absolutely so cute. Although they do clip in with the little lily pads that I have there. But, you know, I mean, just don't look too closely at it. And everyone and everything is going to be fine. But I think that's pretty much it for the build. As always, thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed today's video and would like to see more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out the Discord if you haven't already. Of course, if you want to download this LOD, it'll be on the gallery under my ID caitom. Thank you again for chatting with me, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.